Hi, welcome everyone to PopCultX episode 191. And Danny and Gabriel here again this week to talk about everything pop culture from a Gen X perspective. This week, again, we're talking about Project Runway, and we're recapping it unofficially here on the official PopCultX podcast. Let's go ahead and get started. Danny, how are you?
I'm well. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. Yeah, it was a good week for drama this episode.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was... Watching it last night, I was just like, I think I had to lift my mouth up probably the whole episode because it was just so much drama sprinkled throughout the whole episode. It was quite, if you like that kind of stuff, it was right up someone's alley who likes that drama.
Yeah. I am one of those people. I loved it. It was a really great episode. Let's go ahead and get started with the beginning with who was supposedly getting voted out,
right?
But didn't. You had Jesus and forget her name.
Melania.
From a To Be Continued episode from last week, saying that they were going to get kicked out. But lo and behold, someone came out of the woodwork to save them. Mr. Christian Siriano came out and said, no, let's keep them. They're too good of a designers. They've been doing good this whole season. Let's save them, and they decided to keep them.
He did. He used his Tim Gunn save, right?
Yeah.
Which I thought was interesting that he chose to save both designers.
Yeah.
So I thought it was we talked about this, I think, last episode where we thought maybe they'd have some sort of showdown or something like that. I wasn't expecting this twist, the Christian Siriano save, but it worked.
Yeah.
I wasn't mad about it.
I'm glad to have not seen them leave there. I mean, I really, especially Jesus, I just didn't think that he deserved to go home.
Right. I agree for the most part. I agree. I mean, yeah, it was a miss, his previous work, but I'm glad that they both stayed. So all 5 contestants were once again in the top 5.
Yeah.
And they had a new challenge for this episode. And it was a 2-day challenge. I think, was this the first 2-day challenge for the whole season?
I think there was one other one, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
it might be the first one. I don't recall. They have been getting hit with those 1-day challenges.
Yeah. And this one, of course, was the Wicked episode, or Wonderfully Wicked, which brought the challengers to design for the film, or it'd be inspired by the film Wicked for Good.
Yeah.
So that was fun.
Which is really cool. I think the fashion from the movie is outstanding. So it's something that is very inspiring. The story of the film being an outcast, friendship, being torn apart, things of that nature, was good. Good things are good themes for them to be able to work with.
Yeah. And I like the fact that they brought in the costume designer for Wicked, Paul Tazewell.
Yeah.
The Academy Award winning costume designer, I should say, for the episode, to be like their mentor for this challenge. I thought that was really smart because it really helped the contestants dive into what Wicked fashion should be.
Yeah. And they wanted them to be, to do something avant-garde. So each of them was challenged with doing something that was, not the norm, something that hadn't been seen before. So I think that a lot of people were looking at Ethan because that's sort of his lane. So they started working on what they were doing. Some interesting ideas. Ethan kind of came out the gate with a long flowing draping cape, which is sort of like his signature. Nothing surprising there. Bologna was sort of inspired by some of her previous work, kind of doing something that she says she's found her voice and wanted to do something within that. And then the twins doing something that's related to each other.
Yeah.
And wanting to play up their relationship as siblings. And then lastly, VJ doing something that's kind of out of the box, if you will, something sort of unexpected.
Yes. And that is where the drama starts. Yeah. Let's say that. So So when the whole show first started and they were painting VJ as the villain, it seemed like I didn't mind it so much, because she
Yeah.
was like, "You guys need to separate. You guys can't be working together," and that was a repeated theme throughout the whole show. But then when it got to this episode, it just got super annoying for me.
Yeah.
And let me tell you why. I do not like people who stir the pot like she was, who and then basically say, "Oh, I wasn't doing that," and gaslight it.
Yeah.
That is just, to me, is the most frustrating and annoying thing out there. Well, I mean, one of the most annoying things. And it all started in this episode where she goes up to Ethan and says that Jesus said that he's copying him.
Hmm.
And I like that Jesus stood up for himself and said, "I did not say that. Let's clear
Yeah.
the air." And it just went off the rails from there.
Yeah. And that's the thing is if you want to stir the pot or if you want to sort of play mind games, I guess go ahead and do that, but at least be honest with it.
Hmm.
Don't make things up. Don't like
Yeah.
outright lie to try to make someone look bad, especially on a TV show where they're recording everything. You're to make yourself look stupid.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and so that I think is where VJ kind of crossed the line is where she just made that up.
Hmm.
And instead of just, you know, saying, well, oh, you guys are using the same colors, like, oh, like drama there, decided, oh, that she was going to interject some additional lie there, which was really not necessary.
Right. And she didn't stop there. She continued with
Yeah.
other things like oh goodness, when they were sitting at at the dinner table or whatever,
Yeah.
and she was just talking, and it was so, I know it was great for TV gold. That's what it was for TV drama. But to me, watching it, I just wanted to like stop the episode or mute it or something. I just couldn't stand it.
Yeah. And what's kind of interesting is that they know her tactics. They know what she's attempting to do.
Hmm.
So ignore it. When she
Yeah.
brings up like, "Oh, I have a question for you guys." Just be like, "Well, I'm not really interested in having a conversation. So, thanks, but no thanks."
Yeah. Yeah. I agree that, and I guess allowing her to get under their skin was her tactic, mind
Yeah.
games, like you said. Yeah.
Which is like I mean, I guess it's part of the game, but it's really annoying that it's like let your designs talk for themselves.
Bingo.
You
Yes.
know?
Yep. Let your talent and your designs do all the trash talking you need.
Yeah. So when we get to the actual judging, they have a special guest, Tyra Banks, which was interesting to see because I think we haven't seen her for a while since America's Next Top Model has been out and her talk show ended. She's kind of had some controversy recently where people have been rewatching the America's Next Top Model episodes and thinking like they put the girls through some really weird, awkward challenges. Like maybe she was really harsh as judging. There was, just a lot of weird accusations kind of thrown her way. And so this is the kind of the first time I think that we've seen her on a reality show competition again. So it's kind of interesting to see her back on like a
Hmm.
judging panel.
I didn't know that. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Um, I think when you go back and look at any sort of reality show from the more sophisticated future, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna take and you can nitpick everything that happened, right? So I just think, I mean, we watched all those shows, right? Episodes.
Yeah.
Did you think, as they were occurring, that anything was beyond a reality show?
Always thought that it was kind of stupid that they got girls that had no experience as models and then from like the jump expected them to be really good models without the training.
That's
And
true.
and they
Yeah.
didn't give any responsibility towards a photographer. So as a photographer, you're supposed to coach, you're supposed to
Yeah.
help them
Hmm.
find their light, you're supposed to help them them look good, help them sell the garment, et cetera, et cetera. And there's no responsibility or accountability for the people that are on set, the creative director, the photographer themselves. It's like putting all the blame on this model who's some girl from Idaho that has no idea what she's doing. And then also on top of that, making them do these ridiculous, runways on top of a pool water. And it's like Tyra never had to do that. Naomi Campbell doesn't have to walk on a runway that's like uneven on a pool with water and like things getting thrown at her. It's just kind of ridiculous. And the reason why I watched was like for the actual photo shoots, I
Yeah, me
was
too.
interested in like the images that they came up with, and there
Hmm.
were some really cool images that they came up with and the processes that they went through in order to get them. But I did always think that it was unfair,
Yeah.
and that's even watching it back then. Some of the criticisms that they received, that now I agree with as well, as far as like sizeism, some of the just kind of mean comments that they used to make towards the girls that were mean spirited. It's sort of like watching Hell's Kitchen. I couldn't watch that show because I've always thought that Gordon Ramsay was a jerk, and then he shouldn't talk to the contestants the way he did.
Yeah.
Even coming back into modern day and seeing him, I wouldn't judge the past any more brutally than I would when I actually saw it the first time. Although I do agree with you that sometimes there are shows that like some things you know, are acceptable back in the day that aren't
Right.
now.
That's what I was
Uh,
trying to go for. Yeah.
yeah, but I was still not a huge fan of her in the back in the day. Like I thought that it was sort of ridiculous some of the stuff that they did. Yet I still watched it because I thought that the photo shoots were interesting.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, that's why I watched it as well for the photo
Yeah.
shoots, for the images. Did you have any particular? This is off the topic, but did you have any particular favorite photo from America's Next Top Model that you said, yeah, I remember that one the best?
There was one of Joanna House who was the winner, I think I want to say there's season 2 or 3, where it was just a close up of her face and she was wearing a motorcycle helmet and her face is like perfectly symmetrical. The makeup is flawless. Her eyes are like piercing. And it's such a simple photograph because it's just like her face straight
Hmm.
on, but it's so like her beauty is just amazing. And it's such a great shot, that it stands out to me, um, thinking
Even
back.
all these years later, yeah, that's cool.
What about you?
I don't know if I have a particular photograph, but I remember the particular shoot. I think the models were like either in water or there was like a water layer between the lens and between the photographer and the model. So it's like they
Yeah,
were shooting up through the water.
yeah,
And that was just so cool to me, seeing how the water contorts and moves, and it just gives this ethereal layer to the images. And I think just that process was my favorite.
yeah, yeah. Really cool. I think what would have been interesting if they would have had a show that got more into the technical aspects of like what happens behind the scenes to create a cool image, and
Hmm.
have the wardrobe and makeup artists and creative directors and photographers and talk about all of that instead of having all of the drama. Just have more of a technical,
Yeah,
like, this is how we got to the image. This is, I would have been interested in that for sure.
definitely.
Yeah.
Well, that's us
Getting back
because
to Project Runway. They start judging the outfits, and Jesus is one of my favorites. He does a cool suit that I think that you could see Cynthia Erivo wear. I mean,
yes,
immediately, it's very
absolutely.
Cynthia Erivo, very cool, green, beaded outfit that's just very striking and very appealing.
Yeah, I thought that was my favorite look of
Yeah,
all
me
of them.
too.
I like that one, and I'm not a big Jesus fan, but I think that look was the top for me. It was just like you said, it was very fitting to both the challenge. It looked like it could go right into the film Wicked.
Yeah.
And it was just, yeah, well done for his part.
The other person would be his brother that was judged. He had an outfit that had a very large detail on the back, which was like a poppy flower,
Hmm.
but it was being criticized as being, poorly designed or
Bumpy.
poorly made. And It was sort of like a white gown, and then you had Ethan, who had the cape and decided to cover the model's face
Hmm.
completely up with this beaded sheer material, which is really cool. Again, no one noticed anything, but the breast area looked kind of weird. I don't know if you caught that. Still having struggles with designing garments that fit women with breasts. There was something about it that was kind of off in that area. Then no one mentioned anything, but I kind of, in my opinion, I saw that.
Yeah, they
Uh,
were more distracted, I think, by his choice of underwear for the model.
yeah, that was another thing that was kind of stood out. And then you had Bologna as well, who some criticized it as being a little bit too streetwear and not enough avant-garde. Although, like, I like the look.
Hmm.
It just, I don't know if in comparison to the other looks, if it was dramatic enough to help keep her safe. And then lastly, we had VJ that had those like torn circular red. I don't know what it was. It a skirt or
It was
I
a
don't.
two-piece, yeah. So it was a
Yeah,
skirt and a top with spirals. I guess is what she was saying. She was inspired by the inclusion of spirals throughout the whole story, or something like that.
yeah. I didn't see the influence of Wicked.
No.
Uh, the colors were off. Like it wasn't, when you're thinking of Wicked, you're thinking the pink and the green, or black,
Hmm.
and the red was just not indicative. Tyra had a really good point where she's like, when it comes to branding, there are certain things that just like are non-negotiables, and
Yeah.
like one of them it would be the colors that are used within the film. I thought that was a really good call out. But then getting to the drama, it sort of starts when La Roche asked them, who would you want to take to the finale? And I was sort of surprised that Ethan and Bolaños said the twins.
Yeah.
They both wanted the twins to go. Now, whether or not they felt it was because they're the best designers or they thought that they can beat them, I don't know. But they both chose the twins. The twins chose Ethan to go with him and each other, and then set up for the drama that is VJ, who said that he would choose Bologna and Ethan,
Hmm.
but then decided to say the reason was not necessarily because of their designs, but because they're not deserving of the money. They don't need the money,
Yeah.
which was a really weird thing to
Yeah,
say,
that is weird.
and was because they're not kind and humble, which really irked me because it's like, talk about the designs. Antonio has a lot that he could have mentioned as far as like him struggling, him rarely being in the top, him having construction issues. But to say that they're not kind people, it's like, is that a prerequisite for being a winner of Project Runway? Like, does that have anything to do with their designs? You're just going on a personal attack now.
Yeah. Yeah, that rubbed me the wrong way as well. It just was uncalled for. It wasn't necessary. I mean, I don't know if it was planned. Well, it couldn't have been planned. I mean, I don't think the producer to say, "Hey, say something nasty," right?
And I think that after the words came out, she probably regretted it because they immediately confronted her when they go backstage and they were
Hmm.
like, that was bullshit. Like, you didn't have to go there. Like, why are you saying that we don't deserve the money? You don't know what our finances are.
Right.
Why did you say that, we're not kind and humble? Like, that's ridiculous. And she sort of cowers in the back and has the producers coming out saying like, oh, just leave her alone, don't say anything. And so I feel like she doesn't really stand up for what she says. Like, I think that she regrets kind of bringing that up. And then it gets to the point where Antonio is so upset by what La Roche has asked and what VJ has said, that he's like, they're making a fool of me. I'm not going to
Hmm.
stand there allowing them to make a fool of me. Like, I'm out, and apparently is quitting the show.
Yeah, and then the last shot we see is him, I guess, walking to a car or walking in the parking lot, and a producer chasing after him. So,
Yeah. I don't know if, like, I mean, do you think that that's enough for him to quit the show? Like, it would, is that justifiable, or do you think that he's being over dramatic?
of course, he's being over dramatic. I mean, but in his mind, I think it is justifiable. I mean, he doesn't want to, like he said, he didn't want to be stand there and be humiliated.
Yeah.
So he doesn't need to take that. I mean, I think he's not thinking the bigger picture where like the best revenge for something like that is to win.
Hmm.
And he just wants to get out. I mean, I think when they have cameras on them all the time, I think he just wanted an escape from that camera. And that was the only way he probably could think that he could do it in that moment.
Yeah.
Hopefully they talk him down off that ledge and he changes his mind and comes back, because I guess we should get to who do you think will be in the top three?
I thought that it was going to be the twins and Ethan.
Okay.
Um, but after that, like, I don't know, like, I think that Antonio has a good chance of going home because of the construction of that flower and the back piece. Um, Between VJ and Bologna, I would want to see Bologna more than I would VJ. I think VJ hasn't done anything in the whole season that I thought was interesting or stuck out to me in my mind.
Yeah. I mean, even before Antonio's outburst, if you will, I
Yeah,
thought my top three was going to be Jesus, Ethan, and Melania.
yeah,
Because I think for me, Melania has shown the most growth from the beginning of the show
yeah,
into what she discovered and found out about her style and her aesthetic.
yeah,
So I would really be curious to see what kind of collection she'd put together.
yeah, yeah. It's true. I mean, it's sort of getting back to what we were saying about America's Next Top Model and like going back and watching the episodes and seeing if you would judge it by today's standards. I kind of see Antonio's feelings because even though they're there to be criticized and they're getting critiques from these top judges, these editors, stylists, models, etc., people in the fashion industry, there are certain ways that you can criticize someone without insulting them and
Yeah,
like
yeah,
going to their core of like who they are as a person, like, and it's that's sort of the thing that I think that reality shows are really kind of weird, is that they really truly do want to humiliate them for good television. It's like if Lau Roach were meeting with another design, where with a designer that's working, that's successful, I don't think he would be like, oh, this is shit.
right, right.
I
It
think
would
that
not
he
be.
would watch his words a lot more,
Hmm.
because he wouldn't work with that designer again. That designer would be like, well, that's bullshit. Like, I'm not going to stand here and let some stylist kind of talk to me that way. And I don't think Nina Garcia would be talking to, Galliano and saying, I don't know why you're here. Your last couple seasons have been horrible. You
Hmm.
know, it just, I don't imagine that that's what happens behind the scenes. Yet that's the way they talk to these people who are putting themselves out there. They're relatively unknowns. Their reputations are on the line because unfortunately this is the way people are going to remember them.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
this is the way is going to impact their career. If you say someone doesn't have talent, they have to go back home and try to sell their garments to people. And so it in a way, like, I appreciate people's honesty, Nina Garcia and La Roche and Heidi, but it's like the way that they deliver that critique and the criticisms are just a little classless, I think, and like rude, and the delivery is horrible. And I mean, even if we go back, I think there was one or two episodes ago where the model was a everyday person, and he said, "Oh yeah, like when she uncovers takes off the coat or does the reveal. Oh, she's a slut." Or I think
Hmm.
he
Hmm.
either said a slut or a whore or something like
Something like
that.
that. Yeah, yeah,
Why would you talk to someone that is an everyday person who's not there to get judged by you, who's there for the experience, not because she was asked? That's a really rude thing to say and really classless. Like that, I just thought that was, she didn't take it in a bad way. Like she kind of laughed it off and was like playful about it. But it just was like, why would you say that? It was such a weird comment.
yeah. No, I remember that comment. Yeah, and it was weird to hear that. It was
And
especially when
and So I can kind of see like taking all that in consideration where Antonio's like, this is it. Like they're trying to pit me and my brother against each other.
Yeah.
Like for the show, they want us to say bad things about, and that's not going to happen. Like that's we're family. Like we're going to stick together. And then now you have this other contestant saying that we're not kind, that we're not humble, that we don't deserve the prize, or we don't need the money. Like that's it. Like I'm done.
Yeah, and I think the question that they were asked, the brothers, was who's the better designer between you two?
Yeah.
And that's what you said about pitting them against each other. And I think Jesus said, "I'm not answering that. I'm
Yeah.
not going to do it," which is, I think, the smart way to play it. And
Yeah.
then Antonio, he just kind of just said, "Well, he has more wins than me." So
Yeah.
yeah, that was interesting. And I think the judges, I know they're there for that reason, to create the drama on something that might be very plain, I guess, and boring if they didn't do that, right? I mean, it
I
is
don't,
TV,
I
so
think that it they underestimate the intelligence of the audience watching the show. I feel like that if they were to delve deeper into technical aspects and it be more like you're a fly on the wall of the fashion industry, and this is the conversations that we actually have in the fashion industries, and they were
oh,
more realistic
I
and
like that. Yeah,
we saw how they talk to designers, how designers talk to editors and stylists and got feedback from them and changed their outfits. That would be really interesting.
hmm,
And you wouldn't need the nastiness of reality shows. It's just that we've come to expect it from reality shows, and I think they think that the audience wants the nastiness, but let's see something that is just straight up like a documentary that is and you know something where we see the behind the scenes, and I think it would be interesting. There's a documentary about I think Isaac Mizrahi that's called Unzipped, that's really interesting, that does give you an interesting vantage of the fashion industry and what a designer goes through, and you don't see you know that nastiness that reality shows kind of bring.
yeah. Well, I mean, I hate to say it, I think that's the day and age we're living in, where
Yeah,
that's the norm and that's what's to be expected. I mean, I think back to previous season, previous seasons of Project Runway, where the judges got to get close-up looks of the gowns, right, or the
yeah,
outfits and garments, and then they provided a more insightful impact to the designers, like you're saying.
right.
And I think nowadays people just want that, rip you apart, judge you to based on, I don't know, just they want more of this, the drama and more of the, what's the right word I'm trying to say? They want more of that, just to tear you
Yeah, they
down
want
type
the
of thing.
conflict and
Yeah.
they want the drama and the confrontation. But it would be nice to see a reality show come on that was just straight and didn't have that sort of you know, nastiness from the judges, that they were just actually trying to make them successful, like maybe not having people get voted off, and we're just like, we're going to help you create a line that you're going to go out and try to sell, but we're going to try to help you be successful, and you're going to go out and sell it, and let's see how people react to it. And I don't know, maybe I'm being too naive and like trying to be too Pollyanna about it, but it's just like I just feel for Antonio. Like I feel for the contestants because he's the one that's going to get judged. Like, well, you know, what did you expect? You're on a reality show. You knew that they were going to judge you. You knew that they were going to be, you know, criticize you. So he's the one that's going to be come out looking bad. But
Yeah.
you know, La Roche isn't going to get judged for being nasty when he should.
Well, I mean, maybe he is. I mean, I was reading a little few threads about the judging, and people were calling them out, saying that they're
Oh,
being
really?
really, really nasty, that they can't stand the judging this season. And they were just like, I was about tempted to do just mute it all and just watch the designs.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
interesting.
So next week we'll see. We'll see if
Yeah.
Antonio comes back, if the producers are able to pull him back in, and to see who else, who the two will be getting cut, and who the top three will be, and we'll get on the process of them collection designing their collections for the final competition. So it'll be interesting for sure.
Yeah. And you said the twins and Ethan is your top three that you want, right?
Yeah, yeah, that's
Okay.
what I wanted to see.
I could go either the twins and Ethan or Jesus, Belania, and Ethan. Yeah. So Jesus and Ethan for sure. Belania, Antonio, for me, doesn't matter.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not dying to see what Balania comes up with, but I would be interested in it. I'm not interested at all in what VJ has to produce.
Yeah.
There just hasn't been anything that was striking to me that she created. Um, Antonio, I think he has some things that I would be interested in to see where his perspective, what his perspective is on designing a collection. But VJ, no, I'm not really interested in her as a designer.
So everyone out there, let us know in the comments who you want to see as a top three. I'm very curious to see if you agree with me, if you agree with Gabe, or you have a completely different outtake on it all.
Yeah, let us know.
Well, I think that's all I have for this episode, Gabe. Unless you have anything else.
Yeah, I think that's it. We went over all the drama.
All the drama, yeah. So thank you guys for tuning in, for liking, subscribing, for sharing, and we will see you all next time.
We'll see you.